الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Allah Ta'ala says in this ayah that I've just recited that, O people, I created you from one man and one woman, and I made you into groups and tribes. The best amongst you is the one who has more taqwa. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ as well that إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَى أَمْوَالِكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَى صُوَرِكُمْ وَأَمْوَالِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَى قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. That Allah Ta'ala does not look at your faces and He does not look at your wealth, but what He looks at is your heart and your actions. So this is something that we need to understand. This is how important taqwa is. People don't even think about it anymore. That what is taqwa? How is my life? And the reason is that we are into, in fact, is what I think is that people have more serious issues. And that issue is, as I said, people are not even into Iman anymore. People literally are losing Iman. But people who Allah Ta'ala has given tawfiq to be steadfast on Iman, I mean, all of us sitting here in this masjid is a sign that we have Iman. We sitting in this masjid is a sign that we do have Iman in our hearts. Prophet ﷺ has said that if you see somebody coming to the masjid, then you can give witness of his Iman. We Alhamdulillah do have Iman. But what we need to do is that we should go to the next step, take the next step, which is taqwa. And Allah Ta'ala says that this is the only one single criteria of anybody's closeness to Allah Ta'ala. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The most honored amongst you is the person who is taqwa. So taqwa, as I said, that our Hazrat defines taqwa as a person who lives a life in a way that there is nobody on the Day of Judgment who is there to grab him. That one lives a life in a way that nobody on the Day of Judgment is there to grab him. So, what does it mean? It means that we should be able to control ourselves. And it's very serious. Please try to understand this. We must all live a life that there is nobody on the Day of Judgment who is there to grab us. What does it mean? It means that we must be very careful about our huquq al-ibad. The dealings with people. It's a very serious thing. Many of us, they can come for Fajr. Many of us, they can get up for Tahajjud. Not everybody. We are struggling with our Tahajjud and our Fajrs as well, and we must fix that. But who is doing that, then we also must make sure that we are doing our huququl ibad. And we must give the rights of the people in the way that they deserve it. And we hurt people in different ways. One way that we hurt people is through our tongue. One way we hurt other people is through our tongue. We don't realize that. Or we say things that just hurts other people. SubhanAllah, there are people who just will ask people about their personal things which they are not even concerned about. You're not their shaykhs that you're asking people, poking people into their lives. SubhanAllah, there is one sister, she was going through some sort of a treatment, and she's not willing to tell anybody. It's like her confidential thing, her private thing. Then other people realize that she's going to the hospital every once in a while. And the other sisters came to her and said, "Oh, are you going through that treatment? What's it up to you?" This is a question. It is up to you. What's your concern? What's your problem? Okay, if there's like a sincerity in the heart that you are very concerned, but many people are not even concerned. They're not asking because they want to feel the pain and try to help out, just for the sake of asking. Prophet ﷺ has said, "Min husni Islamil mar'i tarkuhu ma la ya'nihi." From the beauty of the religion of a man is that he leaves what is of no concern to him. Why are we asking people about things that are of no concern to that person? What is of no concern to you? It hurts people sometimes. We don't realize that. It hurts people. We have to make sure that we do not hurt people in any shape or form. And one of the biggest things that hurts people is our tongue. As I said, asking people about things that you're not even concerned about. And second thing, we make fun of people. We make fun of people. We don't realize that we are making fun of those people. And they get hurt. Allah Ta'ala gave him a baby boy. And, mashallah, very healthy boy. And there are other people who are trying to compare that baby boy with somebody. Like who is also, say for example, who is also healthy. And maybe a politician. Maybe, any other thing. A game, a sport, a football. Well, you have passed your comment, but what has happened on the other side? Have you realized that? The mother who has that deep love for the baby, and you pass comments to that mother that your son looks like that person. I mean, you are over, you're gone, you're done with your comment, but what has happened to the heart of the mother? Have you thought about that? Some people, Allah Ta'ala give them children, some people, Allah Ta'ala does not give them children. It's the distribution of Allah. Just like Allah Ta'ala has distributed wealth, Allah Ta'ala has distributed every blessing. And people come, "Oh, you don't even have children." Well, what's his fault or her fault? It's Allah Ta'ala's decision, right? You don't even have children. And subhanAllah, that person is already heartbroken because he has been asking Allah Ta'ala for that blessing for long and he's yet not been given that blessing. And you are even putting more oil to the fire. Have you ever thought about that? What this of your comment has done to that person? Some people have one child. "Oh, you only have one." Well, what's his fault or her fault? And the worst of that is then the husband, he blames his wife for that. There are husbands who actually divorce their wives because of not having children. What's her fault? That's our iman. Think about it. What's her fault? What did she do? Did she do something wrong? But we just pass on comments and we shout and we scream and we say things to our wives because of these things. Sometimes She cooks food with so much love and so much care. And there's more salt and less salt, or more spices or less spices. And she comes and we start screaming at her. Oh, you don't even know how to cook. Your mother has not even taught you how to cook. SubhanAllah, she has been cooking food with so much love. She is waiting for her husband to come back home so that she can serve that. And Ajib, the one comment, SubhanAllah, that just breaks her heart. All day long she has been waiting for you to come back to home so that she could sit with you and eat. And SubhanAllah, one lukma in the mouth and a bad comment. Just think about her heart. Her heart is broken. How can you fix it? And heart, SubhanAllah, is the thing that if it breaks, then it's almost impossible to fix it. We cannot apply any, that super bond to fix it. Even if there is some super bond to fix it, that crack will not go. Right? So if something breaks and you fix it, that you'll still see the crack. That crack won't get healed for ages. For ages. Maybe if she is or he is like a very, very big heart, maybe, but majority of the times you will always find that broken heart, that break, that crack. And when that remains, SubhanAllah, achieve, especially husband-wife relationship, how can that wife have ever had that respect for you when you have already broken her heart? And vice versa, of course. I'm talking to brothers, that's why I'm more emphasizing on that point of the husbands. We go to people's houses as guests. And SubhanAllah, people have cooked for us. And, sometimes we don't even eat. We just eat one thing. And then we leave the rest of the 7 things. We don't realize what we are doing, honestly, with our actions. We don't realize what we are doing. A person has invited us to his house, and poor wife, has cooked for days sometimes, and we go there and eat a little bit from one thing and then leave the rest. And the wife, she's so excited about the guest coming, especially if she has invited you with a lot of, love and respect. And she will ask, oh, what did he eat? And you, SubhanAllah, and the husband tells her, what's that, folks? Where are you guys going? Ji? Out of the car, in the car. For Abdullah? That's it. And you tell, and the husband tells her, he only ate, one thing, and SubhanAllah, gone. So we must take care of our tongue. That how do we use it? Must not make fun. Must not say things that are of that is of no concern to us. Make sure that if this thing that I'm saying, if it's going to hurt other person's feelings or it's going to be a normal thing. We must all should think about it. Otherwise, SubhanAllah, we don't know what we do. So, especially with our wives, and our children of course as well, and our parents, and our friends, and our relatives, people who are very close to us, we must make sure that we are saying things to them that makes their heart happy and not break it. Seriously. We must do that. I know many of us who are sitting here, they're not taking it seriously. We must take it very seriously. We don't know what are we doing by not using our tongue properly. If we break people's hearts through our tongue, it is extremely difficult to heal it later on, to take off the crack. The second way that we hurt other people are through our actions, definitely, of course. That we may hit somebody, that we do make fun of them through our actions. So that's also something that we should be very, very be careful about. Hurting anybody through anything, that is something that destroys people. Stealing, cheating, deceiving, hurting, all of that destroys people. Huququl ibad is that thing that until and unless that person forgives us, we will not be forgiven. Until and unless that person forgives us, we will not be forgiven for that. We can do tawbah, but until that person forgives us, we will not be forgiven. So we need to be extremely careful with what we do. Let's make sure that we don't hurt anybody, their feelings or otherwise. Please, through our tongue, through our actions. This is the message. This is the message of the believers, that we take care of the huququl ibad, but at the very same time, we take care of huququllah, but at the very same time, we also must take care of huququl ibad. We grow our beards outwardly, mashallah, people of sunnah, wear our jubbas, wear our topis, wear our amamas, hafiz, alims, go to madrasa. But, we are so bad at huququl ibad. We're so bad at dealings with people. Subhanallah. We give people a call that will be coming at 8 o'clock. And that poor guy is waiting at 8, it's 8:15, it's 8:30, it's 9 o'clock. And you have not even informed them we are getting late. It's hurting people. It is hurting people. You must understand that. At least if you're getting late, let that person know, give him a call. I'm getting late, so that he's not waiting there, sitting there, when he will come, when will he come, when will he come. Realize that. And when we go to other places, a very practical thing. Please try to understand this as well. When we go to other people places, we should make sure that when we are there, we do things that become the source of his comfort and not his discomfort. For example, we go and use people's toilets. We go and use people's toilets, make wudu. And we, subhanAllah, splash water everywhere. The person comes out of the toilet and subhanAllah is water on the roof and on the walls and on the floor. They have made wudu. Subhanallah. I'm very serious. It hurts, subhanAllah, when you will go. That person himself or his poor wife will come, will be wiping everything off. Have we ever thought about it? What have we just done? There are some people who don't even flush the toilets. It's very serious stuff. It's our deen. So, make sure that we use the toilets in a proper way. Make sure that we don't splash it all over. And if the water gets splashed over, then we must take something and wipe it off. So that when we come out of that place, it's clean. In fact, we should keep it in a cleaner way than what it was before you used it. That's ihsan. That's even better. And we must become people of ihsan. We should not be bad people. We should be people of ihsan. Let's do something that, when you use the toilet, let's leave it in a way that it is in a better state than what it was before you used it. It's part of our deen. We don't understand that. When we go and use people's things, we must not destroy them. Like, use it as if it is yours, and in fact, use it in a way that as if it is amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah ta'ala has given you amana and you are using it, and you have to return that amana. Just use it in that manner. Let's make sure that we become comfort for people and not discomfort. That's the key. That's the bottom line. Another thing, as this is also very important, that when we are sitting in a gathering, for example, there is a sunnah of a gathering. And the sunnah of the gathering is, for example, for a Friday prayer. What is the sunnah of the Friday prayer? Well, make sure that you take a shower, change your clothes, neat clothes, make sure that you brush your teeth, do miswak, and then go to the Friday prayer. What is the idea? The idea is that we don't hurt anybody. So that we are not stinking, that we have not that, smell coming out of us, because the person sitting right next to me, he doesn't feel bad about me. These are the adab of a gathering taught to us in the form of a Friday prayer. But that applies to everything, every gathering. Anytime you have to meet with somebody, we must make sure that we are not stinking. Really. Where sometimes such a bad smell comes out of our mouth, that subhanAllah, as if somebody has died in our mouth. And the dead body has stayed there for like 5 days. Really. And people who are very sensitive to smell, anybody will feel bad about it, but people who are sensitive to smell, it causes headache. I cannot take, for example, a smoke smell. People who have smoked, I go near them, if I stay there for like, say, 5 minutes, I will start having a headache. Some people are very sensitive to smells. I'm even sensitive to very strong ether smells. That's why I use very, very light ether smells. But it's fine, at least that's an ether. Bad smells, that is not Allah. Nobody can take that. So when we have to meet with people, we must make sure that we brush our teeth. And I tell you another thing, I'm not a dentist, I'm not promoting anything, but use flosses, please. The dental flosses, use them. So you know what, this food that gets stuck within our teeth, the toothbrush does not take them out. Toothbrush does not take it out. And for example, if you put things in your garbage, the leftover of the food, and if you don't throw that garbage for a day, have you ever smelled the garbage can? What a stinking smell comes out of the garbage can. Same smell comes out of your own mouth. Because the food has gotten stuck between the teeth. And unless and until you go in there and take it out, it will stay there and will cause that bad smell. It does. And subhanAllah, that's another thing, because it's right next to us. Our nose gets used to it. We don't feel that. We don't realize that we are stinking. But the other person, he feels that. So we must get a habit of, very good oral hygiene as well. We make sure that we have a habit of brushing our teeth, morning, evening at least, morning and going back to bed. And also make a habit of using dental flosses, really. I don't give you any brands. Otherwise you will see, they've given me some money to promote that. Any floss, please, but use it. Make a habit of doing that. Seriously, and miswak is also a wonderful thing. Miswak with good threads, it also does that to a certain extent. But the food that we eat these days, it really gets stuck right in the middle. So get into a habit of using flosses for the sake of Allah. For the sake of Allah Ta'ala. Another thing, gargle to the back of your throat. I've seen my Hazrat, I'm just passing on what I've learned. Just gargle your throat as well. When you brush your teeth and the food that gets stuck on the cheeks, on the inner side of the cheeks, on the gums and the back of your throat, it also causes that bad smell to come out. So gargle and that's sunnah. That's sunnah. In wudu, it is sunnah to gargle to the back of your throat and to wash your nose to the soft bone. It is sunnah. It is recommended to do that. Why is that? It's not for anything, just anything. It is for us so that we can, because we are dealing with people, we are social people. We deal with people, we meet with people, we sit with people. So when we have to make wudu, go to the masjid, there are people who are there. That's why it's a sunnah to gargle to the back of your throat and make sure that your mouth is very clean. That's why the sunnah of miswak is so much recommended miswak. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he used to do so much miswak that subhanallah, every single moment. Because oral hygiene is a sunnah. It is sunnah to do oral hygiene, and first of all, sunnah has its own rewards. But second thing is that because you don't hurt anybody, it's part of huquq al-ibad not to hurt anybody. Through your oral, not by not taking care of your oral hygiene as well. Another thing, to back of the throat, gargle to the back of the throat. Wash your nose. It's also sunnah of wudu. To the soft bone, because that's also becomes a cause of bad smell. Sometimes smell doesn't come out of the mouth, but it comes out of the nose. So take water, when you're doing wudu, make sure you take it to the back of the soft, like to the back of the nose, to the soft bone, and wash your nose. But if you're using somebody else's wash basin, don't leave your remains of the nose get stuck on the wash basins. It's part of that. Not only wipe it off, but make sure that, you clean their sink. Make sure that you rub it with your hands so that all the remains are off from that, and then wipe it off with the tissue paper. This is part of the next thing. Make sure that every single day you change your undergarments. Because, our body, even if it doesn't sweat, if it's really cold, but, there's some sort of, sweat that comes out, even if it's little. And it has its smell and it gets stuck into our undergarments. And if we don't change that, then there is a smell that comes out, which we don't realize also. At least undergarments every day and outer garments at least every other day. At least. Another thing, that if we have these like jackets, especially woolen, like this, and we are into an environment that has smoke and all of that, and if you don't wash that also once in a while, say once in say a month or something, like I'm struggling with the outer garments, like the jerseys and the jackets, then it also absorbs these sort of things, this sort of material. Not this. This does not absorb anything. But this sort of material, it absorbs it and it also stinks. We don't realize that as well. We must take care of that. Must. It is not an option. We must take care of all of that because it causes harm to people. It causes harm to people. And person sitting next to me possibly, I don't know. I was thinking too much. No, really. Especially if you're driving car. You're sitting next to the person. If you're really thinking, subhanAllah, how can he drive his car? Or vice versa. How can the passenger sit next to the person who is driving? This is all part of our deen. And people are sensitive, especially with the smell, they will have their headaches. SubhanAllah. So these are the things that we all must be very careful about being Muslims. That we must not hurt anybody. We must not hurt them by our tongues, with our comments, with asking things that do not concern us, and making sure that any comment that we pass must be also in a way that, we should think about it, that it should not hurt anybody, especially if they're close people to us, wives, children, husbands, relatives, friends. And also, we must not hurt them with our actions. And actions can be anything. Passing comments, making fun, deceiving, cheating, lying, backbiting, you name it. And also through ourselves. Make sure that ourselves is presentable enough to other people, that it does not harm them. And also one more thing, by the way, this is to its extreme, to its peak, with husbands and wives. SubhanAllah, the husbands want their wives to be like, to be the hurs, but they are stinking themselves. SubhanAllah, I don't know how can wives, just imagine, just reflect that. Sometimes I reflect that, I feel Allahu Akbar. SubhanAllah. It just really gives me that, electric shock going from my top to my back through my spine. You cannot sit with them, which is like maybe the distance of, say, a good 1 foot and 2 feet. How can the wives be with them? And people don't even realize that. Are they animals? Are they robots? What are they? SubhanAllah. Have you ever thought about that? How many times have you taken a shower before being with them? How many times have you actually brushed the teeth and done floss before being with them? How many times have you done that? Illa masha'Allah. Very few. We are human beings and we must do ikram of the human beings. It's part of the ikram of human beings. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah Ta'ala is the noble human beings. And we must make sure that we do not harm any human being, be it our wives. They're not our slaves. They're human beings, and I have been telling that, and I will continue telling that if we do not take care of them, they will hold us like this on the day of judgment. They will not spare us. Do you think they will let us go? No. That's their opportunity to gather all the good deeds so that they can go into their paradise. They'll not let us go. On that day, nobody will let us go. Wives are wives. Our mothers will not let us go. So mothers will not let us go. وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ يَوْمَ يَفِرُّ الْمَرْءُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ وَأُمِّهِ وَأَبِيهِ. Then mothers are not going to let us go. We're wives. Wives are strangers. They were strangers. And they became our wives for a small little period of time, and they will become strangers again. They're going to hold us if we don't take care of them. SubhanAllah, we treat our wives as literally animals or at least slaves. Hurt them, harm them, shout at them. Who are you to shout at them? Who has given you that right to shout at them? Has anybody given you right? Who is that? If anybody's given you right. Allah Ta'ala has not given you right to shout at them. Allah Ta'ala says, وَعَاشِرُهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Treat them in the best of ways. That's what Allah Ta'ala says. Who has given you right to harm them or shout at them or to be angry with them and all of the things that we do? We harm them. And they're not going to let us go unless we go and ask for their forgiveness. Please forgive me. And if they forgive you, they must, they should. But if they don't, SubhanAllah, you should cry at their feet. You should hold their feet and please forgive me for the sake of Allah. Otherwise they will hold us on the day of judgment. So they are the people who get harmed the most. The most. And other people who are close, the more closer people are, the more we harm them. Because we take them for granted. That's our problem. We must make sure that we do not take anybody for granted. They are all human beings and everybody has their rights. Everybody has their rights. And we must give them their rights. Must. And through every shape or form. And we should be careful about everything. Make sure that we are clean, change our clothes, put on perfume. These are all sunnahs. Why Prophet ﷺ was doing miswak all the time, putting on perfume? He was the purest of people and the most clean of people. If it was not part of deen, why was he doing that? He didn't have time to waste. He was spending time on his own personal hygiene. There was a reason behind that. The first thing that he would do after coming into the house was miswak. Personal hygiene. We must take care of our personal hygiene. We must make sure that our oral hygiene is good and our clothes are clean and we are clean, and take a shower every day. Really, take a shower every day. If not, at least every other day. But make sure that we change our undergarments every day. At least. This is important, this part of our deen, because it hurts other people. And then through our actions, to our tongue, the way that we talk, the tone that we talk with, and the words that we use must not harm anybody. And when we are guests, take care of them. Use toilet in the best ways. Even if you used your toilet, use it in the best of the ways. Again, our wife is going to go after us, and if we have splashed water all over, and if we have not flushed the toilet properly, I mean, she's a human as well. She feels bad about looking at all of our filth as well. Why can't we make sure that we keep the toilets in the best of the ways when we go and use it, even if it's our own houses? Must make sure, absolutely must, that we do not harm anybody through any means. This is the sabr. This is spirituality. This is deen. This is ihsan. This is tazkiyah. Whatever you want to name it, this is what it is all about. A gentleman who thought that the tasawwuf was all about zikr and flying in the air and walking on the sea. And I told him, it's all about making sure that your relationship is good with your wife. He was amazed. When I started giving him lectures that as to how you should be good with your wife, and this is the tasawwuf, he thought that is something different. It's not about flying in the air. It's not about walking on the sea. It's about making sure that your ikhlaq are the best. And khayrukum li ahlihi, the best of you is who is best with your wife, with your family. Charity. Also, subhanAllah, people have this habit of spending at every place but their own wives and their own children. The best charity is what you spend on your wife and your family. People don't realize that as well. They will spend on their brothers and their sisters and their nieces and their nephews and their parents and everybody. It's all good. But there is a responsibility of yours, which is your wife and your family and your children. They're your responsibility. Parents can be responsibility as well, if there's nobody else to take care of them and they're old enough not to earn. But if they have some ability to take care of themselves, your responsibility is your wife. And your responsibility is your kids. People don't do that as well. It is the best charity. It's even better than giving in a masjid. I'm not saying don't give to the masjid. Must give to the masjid. But first thing first, which is your wife and your children. They are suffering. They don't even have school fees to pay properly. They don't even have clothes to wear properly, proper clothes. Your wife goes and sits with, all of these other women and they are wearing good clothes and you earn. It's not that you're poor. You earn, but you don't give her enough that she can buy good clothes. This is bad. It hurts her. Just think about her feelings when she goes and sits with all of those other women who also are like you, but everybody, mashallah, is wearing good clothes. And your wife goes and just think about the feelings that she has when she goes and sits with them. You're hurting them. You're hurting your wife. Have you ever realized that? Have you ever thought about that? I don't know if you've heard about that story about the 7 women, the story of the 7 women. And Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam actually narrated that story of 7 wives to his own wife, Sayyidina Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. That, there were 7 women sitting and talking about their husbands. And this wife, so this one person said something, and the second said something, the third, and the fourth, and fifth, and sixth. And Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said at the end, you know what? I am the best amongst all of them. And what did the 7 say? Oh, he always gives me, good clothes to wear, and he gives me jewelry to wear, and he never disturbs me. If I sleep, he lets me sleep. And when I eat, he lets me eat. All of that. Prophet ﷺ is talking about that in a good way. This is how you should be with your wife. And Prophet ﷺ said, you're even better than that person. And we are, mashallah, so-called person of deen and Sufis and whatnot, and we hurt our wives. They can't even sleep because of our terror. They can't even eat properly because of our terror. Subhanallah. Ajib. How can we get any status in deen, any closeness to Allah Ta'ala if we hurt people, especially our wives? So please, this is important. This is not something that I'm saying which is something on the side. It is part of the mainstream Islam. خَيْرُكُمْ خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. When we talk about hukukul ibad, we talk about taqwa, and a taqwa as a Hazrat defines, taqwa is that you must fulfill your hukukul ibad so that nobody on the day of judgment is there to hold you. So in that hukukul ibad, the first person is our families. And khayrukum li ahlihi. Best of you is the best with your families. And in the family is your wife. And make sure that she is not bothered by us. And we talk about all of the hygiene. We must have the best hygiene first with them and then any other person. But make sure that inclusive of them and anybody else, we must have ourselves tidy enough so that we don't hurt anybody. We must use our tongue properly. We must act properly so that nobody gets hurt by us. We should be smiling. I don't know why don't we smile anymore. We must smile. Smile is a charity. Smile is a charity. If you don't have anything to give, at least give your smile. People, subhanAllah, they again start walking on the path of deen. And people feel that as if now they don't need to smile anymore. In fact, it's haram on them. Just like alcohol. So serious. Yes, you must be serious with your lives. You must be serious when you are in muraqabah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then, sorry? Who is that? Is Abdullah? He's sleeping? Oh. Can you make him lie down? Ridwan. Take him to the room. Just open it up, take him to the room and make him just lie down properly. Who's the other kid? Jay? Okay, is he comfortable enough? Alright, inshallah. That's another thing, take care of kids. Take care of kids, they are lovely creatures. Subhanallah, masoom. Play with them. Don't take them as if they are adults. Kids are kids. MashaAllah. Wake up. It's a majlis, All they're kids. Let them sleep. Let them relax. It's good to take them to the masjid so that they can get those barakat. But then don't enforce things on them. Otherwise they will create that hatred in their heart for the deen. Let them love deen. Let them, as far as they're not mukallaf, as far as they're not responsible for some things, of course they must not be doing any haram, must not be doing anything that's against the deen. But let's not also enforce things on them. Let them enjoy it. He himself wanted to come to this masjid by Taqwa. I asked him not to come, but he wanted to come. But I wouldn't ask him to be awake all night. If he wants to sleep, let him sleep. It's good enough that he's in the masjid. That's it. What else do we want? That's also something that we must be very careful about. Kids, wives, kids, and our parents. Let's not hurt our parents as well. Deal with them in a very wise way, in a very good way. Sometimes I understand that if they're not on deen, then they won't let you do a lot of things. But the way to interact with them وَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا أُفٍّ وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ وَقُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. Allah Ta'ala is teaching us that if they don't let you, even if they don't let you walk on the path of the deen, of course you cannot listen to what they're saying. But still, don't even say oof to them. And talk to them in a gentle way. And Allah Ta'ala says, وَاخْفِضْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ مِنَ الرَّحْمَةِ, and spread your wings in front of them out of mercy, just like our ulama have said, just like if there is an injured bird. And the injured bird, it falls down, if you have ever seen it. It falls down and spreads its wings out of humbleness, out of weakness. Cannot even fly. So just be like that to your parents. Just be humble in front of them. Don't do anything that may hurt their hearts. SubhanAllah, parents' hearts, if you hurt them, SubhanAllah. How can Allah Ta'ala be ever happy with us if we hurt our parents' hearts? In the things that are within the boundaries of Sharia. Of course, if they tell you to do things outside the boundaries of Sharia, we reject that. But still, handle them, talk to them in the best of the ways. Never should hurt our parents. And everybody. Huququl ibad is extremely important. It is the most important thing in us achieving that state of taqwa. So let's be people of taqwa. Let's be people of ihsan. All of us. And for that, must not hurt any human being. Any human being. Please. Be extra careful for that. Even if it means that it is difficult for us. It can be difficult for us, no doubt. Lekin koi baat nahi, so on. People only achieve high ranks when they do things which are difficult for them. People who become CEOs, people who become like Nobel Prize winners, they all go through difficult states. They work so hard. They spend like 14 hours, 18 hours of the day to do researches, to do something. They go through a very tough time. They sacrifice their sleep, they sacrifice their luxuries, they sacrifice everything to achieve those worldly statuses. Why can't we sacrifice? Why can't we even if it feels bad, why can't we just work on ourselves, struggle within ourselves to achieve those spiritual heights? Why can't we? We must. Atif. Shaumek, is he sleepy or are you awake? Listening? And I'm just trying to wake people up. So the people are aware. People are attentive. So my friends, this is taqwa. This is taqwa. People misunderstand what taqwa is. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The most noble amongst you is the one who has the most taqwa. This is what Mashaykh teach us. Our Mashaykh say that we will not judge you by how many rak'ahs of tahajjud have you prayed. We will judge you as to how are with your wife. So, they say we will not judge you as to how many rak'ahs of tahajjud have you prayed. We will judge you as to how are with your wife. And the reason they said wife is because it's very easy to be good for 2 hours. It's very easy to be good for 3 hours. It is very difficult to be good for 24 hours. So one must be in the best of states for 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. All our life. We must be good. If we get angry, we must control our anger, rather than screaming, shouting, hitting, and whatnot. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah Ta'ala says that, control your anger, forgive people, let it go. Prophet ﷺ said, a person who leaves an argument despite of the fact that he knows that he is right, Allah Ta'ala will give him a palace in the middle of paradise. Despite of the fact that he knows that he is right. Just leave the argument for the sake of Allah Ta'ala alone. And I can tell you one more thing. If you leave an argument for the sake of Allah despite of knowing that you're right, Allah Ta'ala will prove you right. Allah Ta'ala will prove you that you are right. One day or the other. Allah will prove to them that's what I mean, that you are right. You don't have to argue. Leave the debate. Leave the argumentation for the sake of Allah. Argumentation is such a bad thing that Prophet ﷺ was made to forget that which night is the Laylatul Qadr. He was told that tonight is the Laylatul Qadr, and he came out and two people were arguing with each other. He was made to forget that. SubhanAllah. Such a blessing was made to forget. Why? Because people were arguing with each other. So leave it for the sake of Allah. Be people of ihsan. Be people of Allah. Be people of taqwa. And this is what is needed to become people of taqwa and ihsan. Make sure that we take care of huququl ibad. Not harm anybody. Absolutely. Take care of people. Care about people. Have concerns about people. In fact, the best is that you prefer them over your own self. وَيُؤْثَرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. They prefer others over their own selves even if they are at loss. You know when this ayah was revealed? Does anybody know when this ayah was revealed? Huh? Atif? No. This ayah was revealed, good guess though, was when that Sahabi, he took that guest, that traveler to his house, and he had nothing to feed him except the food that was enough for his own family, his kids, small little kids, and his wife. And he and his wife made their kids sleep without eating anything. It's a very tough thing to do, by the way. People who have small kids, if they're hungry and they're crying and you say, "Beta, so go and you sleep." Just imagine what a tough thing. And then there was just enough food for one person, one adult. And he asked his wife to serve the food to that guest. And he said that when you serve that, you make sure that the light is out. And she just blew off the candle. And when as he was about to eat, and he was just pretending that he was eating so that the guest doesn't feel that he's not eating and only he is eating. And making noise as if he's eating. And only the guest ate. One person ate to his full. And next day he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he was smiling. He was so happy. He said, Allah Ta'ala loved your hospitality last night. And Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came down with the ayat. وَيُؤْثَرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. They prefer other people over their own selves, even if they're at loss. This is our deen. When we have to give other people gifts, prefer them over your own selves. We, subhanAllah, wear all of these brands, and when it comes down to giving gifts to people, subhanAllah, we're so stingy. We are finding as to how can we just give something that is of the, like somehow we can find some sale somewhere. Bad. I don't know why are we so stingy, by the way. I was telling my friends, it's not the case in Dubai, really. People are so open-hearted. It's not about they're earning more. They're possibly earning less. But they're so open-hearted. People are willing to spend their all salary, whole month's salary, if it comes to the cause of the deen. So for example, somebody's earning 5,000 dirhams. And he might have saved those 5,000 dirhams for the last 10 months, say for example. If there is a cause of the deen, they're willing to contribute 5,000 dirhams. That's their whole salary for the month. And subhanAllah, somebody came to me right now, by this Nisbah magazine is £5, people feel that's too much. This book, this Radiance of Purification, how much are we selling it for? £5? What equates to almost 25 dirhams, 26 dirhams. We were selling it for 30 dirhams initially. And people came and they said, why are you selling it for 30 dirhams? So make it 60 or 70. They're themselves suggesting that, please, why are you selling it to us so cheap? Make it expensive. I've seen this trend in the UK, by the way, for some reason. I don't know why. I can guess it. But it's a trend, a general trend. I don't know why we're so stingy. A Muslim cannot be stingy. A Muslim and stinginess does not go together. Iman cannot be at its perfect, at its best in a heart which is a stingy heart. وَالصَّدَقَةُ بُرْهَانٌ. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "At-tuhuru shatrul imani, wa subhanallahi tamla'ul mizani, wa subhanallahi walhamdulillahi tamla'ani, wa salatu nurun, wa sadaqatu burhanun." Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, charity is a burhan, is a proof, is a hujjah, is a dalil of what? For a person being a believer. It's a sign that he has iman in his heart. Charity, spending in the cause of Allah. So we must spend on other people as well. That's part of ihsan. It's part of huququl ibad. So please, this is taqwa. It does not mean that you leave your huququllah. I've never said that. Don't misunderstand me. Don't go and say, I'm doing my huququl ibad in the best way, so it's okay to leave Fajr. I've never said that. I've just said that we must fulfill huququllah, but at the very same time, we also must take care of huququl ibad. Huququllah just goes by default. That there is no way that we can leave any prayer. There's no way that we can leave any fasting of the month of Ramadan. There's no way that we can leave giving our zakat. There's no way that if Allah Ta'ala has given us enough that we don't go to Hajj. No way doing that. But at the very same time, we also must make sure that we are not falling short in huququl ibad. And huququl ibad becomes more important sometimes just for the fact that if we have not taken care of them, they will never be forgiven unless the people forgive them for us. That's why they become even more important. Now, taqwa also means that we are careful about our mutashabihat. Al-halalu bayyin, wal-haramu bayyin, wa baynahuma mutashabihat. Permissible, impermissible are very easy. We know alcohol is impermissible. We know that, eating non-zabihah meat is impermissible. We know that. But there are things that are doubtful. We also must make sure that we are away from the doubtful things. That's also part of taqwa. What does it mean? It means that if you are working, for example, we must make sure that we work with full honesty. And if we don't, then the salary that's going to come will be impermissible. When we are doing business, we must make sure that we are dealing in the best of the ways. Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullah alayhi, subhanAllah, one day there were clouds on the sky and he shut his shop and he came back. Somebody asked him, why did you shut your shop early today? He said there were clouds on the skies and there were no lights, there were no electricity. He said, I was thinking that what if a person comes to buy a cloth of a certain color and because of the clouds in the sky he will just think that this is the color that he wanted, but it's not the same color. That's taqwa. Once he did a partnership with one of the person, so he was a sleeping partner. So he just invested his money, and the other person was dealing because he was busy teaching. So that, but once some clothes came from somewhere, and he told his partner, you make sure that one of the cloths was defective, a small little defect. He said to his partner, make sure that you tell the customer before selling it that there's a certain defect. So one day he just went to the shop and he saw that piece of cloth was sold. He asked his partner, did you tell the customer? Oh, I forgot. So subhanallah, so it was sold the very same day. All the money that had come for that very day for selling the clothes, it was almost around 30,000 dinars. He gave all of that into charity for that day. Because he said, I don't know that which of the money that has become part of the total money was that cash that he has got because of selling of that one piece of cloth. SubhanAllah. This is taqwa. Stay away from mutashabihat. Don't even go near them. You must be those people as well. Please be honest at your work. Be honest at your work. Whatever you do, the dealings, if you're doing your business, be honest. Don't play around. I mean, I can tell you one more thing, my friends. That if we feel that we can save a bit of here and a bit of there by being very clever, it will go away. It will go away. Something will happen, it will go away. Either, ba'adallah, somebody may get sick and we'll spend that money in their cure, in their treatment. Or somebody may come and steal that money from us. Or, ba'adallah, we may get into an accident, we'll have to spend that money into getting our car fixed. Or something will happen, it'll go. It will not remain with you. Absolutely not. If we're not honest enough. And if we are honest, and in fact, if we become people of taqwa, and we'll try to take care of, making sure that we are out of any doubtful things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide you many, 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 many times more to you. Far more than you have ever even expected. Everything is coming from Allah. But Allah ta'ala provides you when we have taqwa. That's all what we have been talking about, right? And after Isha Bihan. وَيَجْعَلْ لَهُ, what is that? وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. He will provide you from the places that you have not even imagined. So be people of taqwa. And subhanAllah, eating as well. Really, I don't know if there is anything else that is guaranteed here. But if it's not, in fact, tell me if you can add to my information. But at least, just eat HMC. Don't eat any other meat. Why do we have to? Why are we so greedy, after our desires that we just smell some barbecue from some restaurant and we can't even hold ourselves? Why is that? Why can't we control ourselves? If you're really hungry and you're outside a restaurant and you know it's not HMC, is there any other, by the way, who ulama say that it's okay? Do you have to proceed yourself? Any other organization that ulama say that's okay? No. You also just avoid it. Mutashabihat, just avoid it. If you have to eat, you're very hungry, you're outside the restaurant, you don't have any place to go to. Eat dal. I love dal. Eat fish. Eat vegetables. Eat potatoes. I love potatoes as well. Really. This is taqwa. This is taqwa. Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, once somebody gave him a mutashabih food. When he got to know about it, he put his finger in his throat and actually vomited all of that. And then he thought that some traces might have remained in his stomach. He drank water to its full and then again put the finger in his throat and vomit it again. Taqwa. This is taqwa. Subhanallah. And if I start talking about the taqwa of our mashayikh, then we'll spend another 3 hours here. Subhanallah. Have taqwa in your eyes. No. Why do we have to find out that if a particular girl who is passing by is wearing yellow or red or blue? People who control their eyes, that's the second thing what Shaitan does. Just look at what color is she wearing. Why do we have to find out what color is she wearing? Whatever, doesn't matter to us. Al-Khaja Abdul Malik Siddiqui Sahib Rahmatullah alayhi, he always used to carry an umbrella with him. Be it raining, be it shining, be it winter, be it summer. Somebody asked him, why do you do that? He said that, whenever I feel that there is a woman coming from that side, I will just turn that umbrella towards that side. So that I can't even see a glimpse of her. Subhanallah. We are not even close. But that's taqwa. There is one person who used to travel for some business to some other city, to another village, long, like far away, like another town. So he used to stay there for like 3-4 months. So he thought that I have to stay here for 3-4 months, so I should also get married here as well. Because I'm away from my wife for 4 months. So he did a nikah in that town. So he didn't tell his first wife. What happened that somehow the first wife got a hint. So she sent one of the women to that town to find out if that is what he has done. And she went there and she found out that he has done another nikah there. Well, he didn't tell it to her husband, but she was extremely hurt by that. Subhanallah, what happened was that the husband passed away. The husband passed away and it was in the town of the first wife. So when she got her share, according to the Sharia, she realized that subhanallah, despite of the fact she didn't like that she has gotten married to another town, nobody knew it. She sent the same servant that, I divide my share into half, and the other half is actually the inheritance of the other wife. You go and give it to the other wife. So nobody knew it. But she knew taqwa. She said that you go and give it to the other wife. So the servant, she took the half of the inheritance to the other wife. It was huge money, huge amount of money. He was a businessman. So when she took it to the second wife, she said, what is that? She told her the whole story. That, the first wife has sent it and because he has passed away. And she was very sad. But she said, you know what, just take it back. So why is that? Why do you want me to take it back? I said, I'll tell you one thing, nobody knows about it. But the last time that he came and he visited me before going back, he divorced me. I'm no longer his wife anymore. And this does not belong to me. Nobody knows that, but Allah knows it. It's not mine. Take it back. Look at the taqwa of the people. Subhanallah. Ajib. Hazrat, I think it was Mawlana Shaykh Thanvi Sahib Rahmatullah. Once he went to a town to give some bayanat, somebody gave him sugar canes, ganne, big bundle. And he has, he used to travel in train. So there was a weight limit that this is certain amount that you can carry along with yourself. And those gannas, those sugar canes were very, very heavy. So took it to the train and then he said, how much will it charge extra overweight? So the conductor of the train, he said, you know what, he knew his Mawlana Shaykh Thanvi Sahab, Hazrat, he did a lot of ikram. He said, you know what, I'll let it go. Don't worry. So he said, what do you mean you let it go? He said, I'm in charge. I'll just let it go. You just sit without paying anything. So Mawlana Shaykh Thanvi Sahab said, I have to go a little further. So he said, my responsibility is to a certain train station, and the next conductor who is going to come, he always is my friend. I'll let him know that that this is what you have, and he will take care of you as well. He said, no, I have to go further. He said that wherever he goes, to the train station that he takes the train to, that's the last station. The train does not go after that. He said, my friend, I have to go further. I have to go to Allah. Can you help me with Allah? Can you make sure that you defend me near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That you allowed me to break the rules and take this overweight without paying for it? He was quiet. This is taqwa. MashaAllah, he used to travel business class. Because you travel a lot and if you travel a lot, it really takes a lot of toll on yourself. So he used to travel business class. So when people would come to see him, that they will know that he's in the train as well. They will come to say salam. He will not even let them sit in his coach. He said, you are paid for economy class. You're not allowed to sit here. You can stand, I can talk to you, but that's it. Subhanallah. This is taqwa. So my friends, we have to do our muhasabah. We have to do our muhasabah as to how are we living our life. Ibrahim Adam rahmatullah alayhi was a big wali of Allah. Once he said that I went to Baitul Muqaddas and I was lying down, two angels came. And they were talking and I was listening. So I was lying down and I was listening to their conversation. So one of them said, oh, he's Ibrahim Adam. He said that Allah Ta'ala has reduced his level of wilayat by 1 degree. Allah Ta'ala has reduced his level of wilayat by 1 degree. So the second angel asked him why. So he said that he bought some dates from Basra, and one of the dates fell down from the shopkeeper, and he picked it up and he thought that is his, and he put it in his own bag. So Allah Ta'ala has reduced 1 level of his wilayat. So he heard that, he realized, oh right, this is what happened. So he went all the way to Basra, traveled all the way to Basra, and he bought all of those dates, the amount of the dates that he had gotten from the shopkeeper, and returned it to the shopkeeper. So when he was traveling back, he again went to that masjid and lied down, and the same 2 angels came. And the one said that, you know what, Allah Ta'ala has returned that, Allah Ta'ala for returning that date has given him back that level of wilayat that he lost. Subhanallah. If for 1 date the level of wilayat can be reduced, so where are we? We have hurt people. We have shouted at people. We have gotten angry at people. We have deceived people. We have cheated people. We have lied to people. We have backbited people. We have ill feelings in our hearts for people. We have bughz. We have anad. And we name it. Where do we stand? Where do we stand? Subhanallah. And it's only Allah's satari, Allah's rahmat that we are living even. That we are here sitting is Allah Ta'ala's rahmat. We eat 3 times a day is Allah Ta'ala's rahmat. People come and honor us is Allah Ta'ala's rahmat. Otherwise, if our reality comes out, nobody will want to sit this close. People will run away rather than sitting. This is our reality. No taqwa whatsoever. In fact, exactly the opposite. But it doesn't mean that we should continue living our life like this. We must wake up. Must wake up. We have not experienced the taste of Iman, as I said. Let's experience Iman. Let's experience Iman. Please. And then inshallah ta'ala, let's see the blessings fall. Let's see the blessings fall then, inshallah. May Allah ta'ala give all of us tawfiq. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.